I'm Nicole Holcomb, attorney by day and podcaster by night, a former educator, school counselor, and administrator, and mom to a 9-year-old daughter with dyslexia, who loves all things Harry Potter, Minecraft, and science. A few years ago, she was identified with dyslexia, and our lives seemed to turn upside down for a while, quite literally. I created the Dyslexia Mom Life podcast to help you navigate the upside down journey of dyslexia. You got this. If you're wanting to thrive as a mom in this dyslexia journey, then you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hey friend, welcome to episode 51 of the Dyslexia Mom Life podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Holcomb, here to educate you on dyslexia and how to create strong families while thriving as a mom. Today, I'm going to share one of my favorite reading resources. I have to tell you, over the holidays, I had a few days of quiet time to read. You know, the type of reading where you lose track of time and you just can't seem to put that book down till you know how it ends. Well, it got me to thinking about how much I enjoy a good book and how books really can open our world to learning and growing. I mean, not to mention taking you to a different time and place, and sometimes even exploring other cultures. And I started to think about how I would hate to think that my daughter won't have a love for books. And for many months, that was the case. She only read what was required for school. But this last year, she started reading books that she was really interested in. And yes, some, or if not most, of the books were Minecraft-themed books, science experiment-type books. But you know what? Reading is reading, and that love of reading and love of learning is really what we're trying to encourage. So you may be wondering, how did we spark an interest in reading? Well, one, I believe goes back to the fact that, she is getting the ongoing, consistent remediation that she needs. So that's providing some confidence for her and her skill level. But as far as what we do at home, I had to really take some time to practice some patience and to continue to encourage her at her own pace. And for those of you that know me, patience is not a virtue I have, but I really just tried to give her space. We did the homework. We did the 20 minutes of reading. But other than that, she really wasn't interested in picking up books, just to be reading. But like I said, we did practice patience and encouragement. We visited bookstores. She loved to look at all the different things that the bookstores have, not only books, but they have lots of enriched activities and things as well. And, in our household, we really do love to read. And so we spend a lot of time reading. And so she sees that being modeled. And I think another piece that was important for us was that we were really open to the type of books she wanted to read. So what was the result? Well, the result is that now she likes to read on the way to school. Now, when we go to the bookstore, right before Christmas, we went to the bookstore. I'm not going to tell you how much we spent because it was a little embarrassing, but I put several of those up for Christmas gifts, so it worked out. But what was so exciting to watch is she stumbled across a 3-book series, and she got so excited about these books. And we brought, I believe it was on a Friday afternoon, we brought those books home, and she immediately sat down and started reading that first book. Of course, I was there guiding and helping when she would get stuck. But the next thing you know, we're reading the next book. And by the end of the weekend, we had read all 3 books. And she loved them so much that, I guess this must have been back further than Christmas, though, because I remember that one of the characters in the book she used for her book character day at school. Instead of Halloween, they do a book character day. And so she took one of those books with her, and she actually worked with my mom, and she has a sewing machine, and they actually made her outfit to match the outfit from the character. So when I think about reading and just think about all those enriched experiences she had because we were open to her exploring. And so not only did she read, but she also shared that character with others. She also took that and extended that into a sewing lesson and wanted the colors to match. And we went to the fabric store. So there was just a lot that went into that. And that doesn't come quickly, but over time it has developed into that curiosity and that love of learning to read and reading things that she's really interested in. So, are you ready to hear about the reading resources we use at home as a family? Don't worry, I'll include the resources in the show notes at dyslexiamomlife.com, episode 51. That's dyslexiamomlife.com/episode 51. So let's just dive in. Now that I've talked a little bit about, really wanting to open the world to see things from a different point of view, and we do that through reading and literature, I wanted her to have those experiences. And so one of the things, a resource we've been using for many years, even before we knew she was dyslexic as a family, we used something called Amazon Kindle. And for those of you that aren't familiar with Amazon Kindle, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with Amazon because if you're like us, they delivered most of our Christmas this year. But Amazon also has a book service, and one of their services is called an Amazon Kindle. And it is actually a digital copy of a book. So think ebook. So when you go on the Amazon book area, categories, you're able to purchase books. You may have purchased books before, even textbooks, and had those delivered to your home. But you can also do what's called a Kindle version of a book, which is an ebook, is the best way to describe it. And then they also have a service called Audible, and the Audible is their audio format of that book. And we use both at our house. Absolutely love both. Would just highly recommend both. So you don't necessarily need to have an Amazon Kindle. You may have seen Amazon Kindles. They're small, lightweight readers. You don't have to have one of those, although I would recommend those. I really enjoy the ones that we have. But you don't have to have that to use the resources I'm going to share with you today. So you can download the Amazon Kindle onto your smartphone or your tablet or iPad. They have an app that you can use, okay? But also, you could use that on those Kindles. Those are built in. We're a bit of a techie family, as you probably already know. And so we have the apps on our phones. We have the apps on our iPads. We have several Kindles in our house, Kindle Fire, Kindle Paperwhite, which that's just for reading, the Paperwhite. But why I love it, though, is it's very easy to navigate. So anyone, you don't have to be tech savvy, I promise, to be able to enjoy using their service and enjoy using what they have available. So the Amazon Kindle app is completely free. You would still have to purchase the books just like you would any other time. It's not like a library lending service, although they do have some services where you can pay a fee and check books out. So they have a couple different formats of how you can actually utilize their books. And so that's very interesting too, depending on how much or how many books you're consuming as a household. Let's talk a little bit, though, about the features. There are several features that I just believe are so important to having a rich reading culture in your home. And so here's some things I really love about the Amazon Kindle and the Audible. First is we can share books as a family. So we all are on the same Amazon account. And so when we purchase an Amazon Kindle book, it will ask us in the app, where do you want to send this book? And so you can have the book go straight to a Kindle. You can have it go straight to an app on your phone. And then you can tell, your spouse, hey, I bought this book. They can go to their app and just download it. Okay. So it will download from the Amazon Kindle, from the Amazon site. And then you can share it across your other devices. That is really cool because we even have had our mothers on our account before. And so there's several of us using the account, but we buy one book and we can all share it, which is very helpful. I know early on when we were going through the early parts of dyslexia, we did purchase some books. And then that way everyone in our family could read it and we could have some conversations about that. And it was very helpful. Another piece that I really think is helpful for families is that you can adjust inside the apps, you can adjust the text font size. so you can make it easier to read, which I know for my mom that's been very beneficial, but even for your child, sometimes books have very small print. I mean, even for me late at night, I need a larger print. So you can adjust the print size, but you can also adjust the text itself. So if you want it to be a different font, then you have several choices there, which is nice. If you want to find a font that's more reader friendly, you can do that, and it'll be saved just on your device, and then the other readers in your household can do the same. You can also, I think it's called backlighting, but I could be wrong here, but you can adjust the lighting on your reader, either your handheld reader, your Kindle reader, or even in the app, which I love. So even in the app, like at night, you could turn the back to black and the text would be white. Or there's some other colors, like I think there's like a light tannish color. There's different color lighting that will help the reading not be so harsh on your eyes, which is just very helpful. I also love that one of the reasons I really love having a Kindle and an Audible subscription is I can carry multiple books with me very easily. So if we're traveling, if I'm going to a soccer game, or a soccer practice, probably more likely, or if I'm going to, let's say I don't know about you, but car line, sometimes you got to get there early, right? So if you're sitting in car line, you could, listen to the book on Audible on the way to the school and then continue to listen to it in your car, or you can have that Kindle or your phone with the apps, in your purse or in your car, and you can pull it up and spend a few minutes reading. You may find that more enjoyable than scrolling through Facebook or scrolling through Instagram, just depending on how you want to use your time. But it's a great way if you're trying to, if one of your goals for 2021 is to consume more books, but you're not really a reader, but you would enjoy listening to some books, then Audible is a great option there if you prefer to do it that way. It's also a great way for you to preview books before your children read them. So that's another piece there too. But what I'd really like about that is just the ease of carrying those books. Even if you're going to go to a doctor's appointment or whatever, it's very lightweight to have it with you. But there are some additional pieces that are very helpful in your household when you have children with dyslexia. And one feature is called the Audible Immersion Reading. And the Audible Immersion Reading allows you to read your Kindle ebook and listen at the same time to a professionally narrated Audible companion audiobook. So how that's going to look is you may have your ebook up either in your Kindle, reader, or you have it open on your iPad or your phone, and so your child is looking at it that way, and then there'll be a button on there that you would click to be able to listen to that. And so at the same time, and I'm going to put some of those screenshots in the show notes, so you can go look there if you want to look a little bit about what it looks like. So you would have your ebook, and then you would have this narration, and it won't sound as robotic as some of the other apps you may have tried. It's an actual person professionally narrating the audiobook. And not only that, but you also get the benefit of real-time highlighting, so it will highlight the text as it reads. So your child not only is listening to the audiobook, but they're also able to follow along in the reading. It's a very valuable tool. It really helps with reading comprehension and retention of a content. So while your child, is at home reading with you, this provides your child with more exposure to the words while the book is being narrated to them, okay? So it's better than just the audio because the student is also, or the child is also able to follow along. Or maybe you're cooking dinner and so you can't be right there beside them during the whole time that they're reading. So, maybe you start off reading together, and the good thing about this is you can swap off a different device or swap off the way you're reading it. And so we'll talk about that in a minute. That's a different feature. But at the time of this episode, there are several devices that support immersion reading. The Kindle app for either iPhone or Android, Fire tablets that are second generation and above. Okay, but what I would recommend is, depending on when you're listening to this particular episode, check the Amazon website, go to the show notes where I have links to those things. You'll be able to see quickly, which devices are going to be devices that are going to be compatible with some of these features for your dyslexic learner. And I'm also going to put a link in the show notes to the Kindle books with Audible narration. So Kindle says right now, currently, at the time of this recording, there's over 60,000 books in their library that provides immersion reading. So I clicked over to the link, and I'm going to do that right now. I know you can't see it, but I'm going to click over. And so I was looking at all the different books that they have. They've got several read-along books for kids. And so I'm looking through there, and I'm going to grab Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So I'm pulling up Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and what I see is I see the Kindle version, and actually if you have Free Time Unlimited, which is a service that you can have for books, it's actually free. You can do an Audible trial that would be free as well. And then it tells you how much the hard copy and the paperback is. And then once you kind of scroll down a little bit, it'll tell you the length of the book. But right beside there, it'll say Audible book available. And below here, it says switch back and forth between reading the Kindle book and listening to the audiobook with Whisper Sync for voice. Add the audiobook for a reduced price of $4.82 when you buy the Kindle version. So I wanted to read that to you because I wanted you to see, or I guess you can't see, but I wanted you to hear that once you buy the Kindle book for this particular book, you can add on the audiobook for $4.82. So that's pretty reasonable, I think. So when we think about just the different pieces of that immersion, the other piece that is helpful is something called Whisper Sync for voice. And what that's going to allow the student to do, or the child to do, or either really anybody in the family to do is you can one thing I love that it does is you can continue to listen to the audiobook across multiple devices without losing your place. That's what Whisper Sync is about, saving that place. And so it could be that you're listening to I don't know about in your household, but it seems like nothing's ever charged, when you need it to be. So let's say your child starts off by using their iPhone, or starts off by using their iPad, and it starts to lose charge, or you're going to get in the car to go somewhere and you need to switch devices. Then they're able to switch over to a different device and able to not lose their place. They won't lose their bookmarks if they've put any notes. Another thing about Kindle is you can actually put notes in there, like type in notes. You can also bookmark pages. Like sometimes I'll bookmark a page or highlight something that I want to go back and maybe even share with you guys, okay? The other piece of Whisper Sync that is really another nice feature is that you can switch from listening to the audiobook to actual reading. So let's say you're trying to finish up dinner and you've got 15 minutes and your child really wants to read this book, but there's some words that are really difficult. You can have your child sit down. You can turn on the Audible version. It can be reading to them. There's even a feature where if they need to stop and check a definition, I believe it'll do that for them as well. And then when you're able to pick back up after dinner and you want to sit down together, side by side and really read through and have some time together as a family, you can then switch off of the audiobook back to the Kindle version. And there's a little button there. It's very easy to do. Again, I'll put some links in the show notes where you can see it. They've got some pictures on the Amazon website where you can see how easy it is. Literally, it's just clicking a button back and forth to change what that looks like. So you're able to go back and forth even between devices. Like I said, it can be listening to your audiobook on your phone and then switching to an iPad or vice versa, or even, going from audio to reading or reading to audio. It will keep your place. It will sync as long as you've got it, you have access to a Wi-Fi connection. It's going to save all of those pieces, your bookmarks and your position, and be able to, keep those linked together. So it makes reading very fluid and very easy to follow without a whole lot of, cumbersome losing your place and things like that. So, all right, just as a quick reminder, though, to be able to sync between listening to the audiobook and reading the Kindle ebook, you're going to have to own both. You're going to have to own the Kindle ebook and the matching Audible audiobook. Okay? They call that a paired edition. But you're going to want to be able to sync in between the two, and you're only going to be able to do that through that Whisper Sync for Voice. And that, I know that sounds like a lot right now, but once you get to the website and look, it's really easy to follow. And like I said a few minutes ago, you can actually go to the link where they have the audiobooks listed that support this, and you're able to, you can go and look for a book that maybe you're thinking about using at home and see, what is this going to cost and what is going to be, that additional cost to add the audiobook. And like I said, if you do a lot of reading in your family, Amazon does have, free, they have some free time. I think they call it Free Time Unlimited. And so with Free Time Unlimited, you do have, X amount of books that you're able to get in a year. And so if you're doing a lot of reading and you want access to books and things like that for your children, or if you want to do some type of other service that Amazon offers, I'll put those links there too for books. And so that may also, if you think you're going to consume a lot of books, that may be another good option, because then you'll have a service and it's almost like having a paid for library. You just kind of check things in and out. So next steps. All right. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in the show notes where you can get a free trial for 30 days to Amazon Audible. So what that means is, like I was saying a few minutes ago, you could purchase a book and you could get Audible for free for 30 days. And so how it would work is there'll be a link there where you can do a free Audible trial, and you'll be able to get an audiobook for free through your audiobook trial. That sounds like a mouthful. I'm not sure what that's about. So if you wanted to purchase a book, a Kindle, try it on your app, and you wanted to see how the Audible version works, you can do that. You can go ahead and get that free trial for a month, and it will allow you to get a free book and try it out and see if you think it's something that you would like or not. And then going forward, I won't go into a lot of pricing because it may change, and I'm not sure when you'll be listening to this episode, but it's not very expensive, and you'll get a book a month that you can download, or you can add additional books as well. So let's review. Amazon Kindle app is free, and you can download it to your devices, your tablets, your Android phone, your iPhone, and your iPads. Amazon Kindles are great readers. They're small and they're lightweight if you decide you want to add one of those to your home collection of devices. You can slide it in your purse, in a book bag, in a jacket pocket. They're small. The Amazon, the Kindle White... it's the Kindle Paperwhite. That one looks more like a book to me. When you open it up, it's just like a light background, a white background with black font. And so it is more of a traditional book. It's lightweight. It's great, actually. I love to take it to the beach or anywhere that's sunny because you don't get that glare like you could get on an iPad or an iPhone. But the Kindle Paperwhite would give you access to really just, it's like having a book with you. So it's a more close to me as a book experience. The Kindle Fire is like a tablet. It is a tablet. It has an Amazon, it has a Kindle app rather, where you can download. The thing that's kind of fun about the Kindle Fires is that the book covers are in color. If you get a children's book, if you have younger children at home and that has pictures and things in the book, those will be in color. And so that's nice to have. You can also download games on there. You can search the web, internet, things like that. So the Kindle Fire gives you a little bit more access to like a tablet feel. So, and then they also have Kindle Fires or Kindle tablets for children as well if you've got younger children. So they have a lot of different options there as well if you're interested in that. There are some great features that families enjoy and that will encourage children with dyslexia. Like I talked about earlier, the Whisper Sync is great. You can go between audio and, the reading. You can go between different devices. The immersion reading is, it's where your child can be looking at the text while the audio is being professionally read to them and highlighted so they can follow along. Some of the other features that we talked about today is the text font itself can be changed. The text font size can be changed. The screen itself can be changed as far as the background and the font itself. Now, you're not going to get like a hot pink or anything like that, but it's going to have a couple of different changes where it's black in the background with white text, or I believe there's like a tan and a brown. Like there's some that are known to be good for reading. And then the family share, you buy it once and everybody can share it. And that's even with the Audible books. We're able to share those audio books in our household. So that's really nice because you're paying for that one account and multiple people can use it in that way. So if you think about it that way, you're getting even more of a benefit. And so I like too that Amazon provides several ways for us to enjoy reading. We can do a physical copy of a book, a Kindle ebook, and we have this Audible option that, again, pairs really well when students are struggling to read or need that additional support. Maybe they're trying to read a little bit harder book or a book that's above their grade level, and so it gives them more exposure to vocabulary. But don't forget, like we talked about a few minutes ago, you will have to purchase the Kindle version and the Audible version to use them together. But like I shared earlier, many books have an add-on feature for the Whisper Sync with Audible at a really reasonable price. And so, try it out. Grab that free trial for Audible that I have available for you, and then you can see for yourself, is this something I would like to have? We love it. It's great. I mean, I really do love it. I think especially, we also use Learning Alley at our house. I think that's how you say it, Learning Alley. And the thing about it is, it's also another app, but our school provides it to us. We don't have to pay for the additional services. But what I like about Amazon is it really is something that your child can grow into and will continue to use even into adulthood. And so it's something that will always, be available for them. Well, thank you so much for listening today. I hope this was helpful. Please hit subscribe to the show if you haven't already. We have a lot of great episodes coming in 2021 and the new Dyslexia Parenting Academy. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss what we have planned for this year. Thank you for all the amazing reviews you've been leaving on Apple Podcast. If you have yet to leave a review, please go ahead and leave one. I enjoy hearing from you. Have a great week, and remember, you got this.